was 2 weeks old, we moved to the Big Cypress Seminole Reservation in the Everglades, Okmulgee Village, which is 50 miles by dirt road to the nearest white settlement, Immokalee. And and that first night there, my dad said that somebody was shooting. They were shooting um, shotguns off all night, and he thought, "Oh my God, what did I get my family into here?" And then in the morning, he asked, "What was that all about?" And they said, "Owls."
Mm.
And they didn't like having owls around because that might mean that someone was going to die. And I got to say, the most glorious owl I saw, like a massive snowy owl, just on the road. It was over some roadkill in Lake Minnetonka, not really commonly where it's found, but fortunately, it was just off the road or on a little siding. And I was driving along, and it was dark, and boom, there it was. And then when I got home, I found out William Lasassier had died. So
Oh,
indeed,
wow.
yeah, yeah. And a owl hung around at my farm before my little dog, my dear little dog, Scruffy, disappeared. Did you ever meet
No.
Scruffy?
Well,
Did,
we know we have a good idea what happened to Scruffy, sadly.
well, it was either the owl or a coyote, but it was my neglect. Well, actually, it was a house sitter, but I should have been more careful then too. So yeah, so that's a introduction. So yeah, so owl is associated with a messenger from the other world to bring the soul back. Time to go. And that's the American Indian tradition. Pretty universal. I don't know anybody who doesn't
Yeah.
think that in any, yeah.
Yeah. Across the indigenous, across the world, owl is like the messenger. I mean, all birds are messengers of something, right? But owl is the big guns.
But but strangely for the Greeks, or at least for the Athenians, that the owl was their symbol. That was a symbol of Athena, and she was
Hmm.
associated with knowledge. And boy, they really got into knowledge. All those that I mean, our whole culture comes from Western culture comes from. I won't say ours. That culture that surrounds us comes from Athens, and Athena. That's the Greek version of Neith. They just reversed some of the letters. The Egyptian god of the starry sky, who's Star Woman, and
Okay.
that is like knowledge of archetypes, knowledge of the essences of things. The stars are the essences around the world, just about everywhere. For everybody, they have that. And so I can see it being knowledge, but um, yeah. So,
Yeah, like in Caradwen in like the Irish.
oh, what's the Irish what?
Well, then you got Caradwen too. She was like
Oh,
all
no, I
a
don't know
woman.
about that. What's that about?
Yeah, now I spoke too much and I can't remember.
Oh,
but yeah, but they have an owl woman too in their
oh,
in their folklore or their whatever you want
yeah,
to call it, their paganism.
yeah, yeah.
Well, I have an owl story. I
Okay, doke.
was I was a young girl, had gone through a divorce, looking for a place to live,
Yeah, they
and
married at age 16 down there, so she was really a young girl.
oh, slap, 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 chunk, chunk, chunk. Um, actually, I think I was 21.
Okay.
And so anyway, I found this house to rent really reasonable. It was at the dead end road. It was a dead end road. It was the last house, and it was way out in the country, and the owners lived like up the road. But anyway, I moved all my stuff into this house. I was going to be living alone, maybe looking for a roommate at some point. I had all my furniture in this house, half of it unpacked, and it was down a dirt road. And so one day, middle of the afternoon, I'm bringing another load of my first, clothes and stuff to this new house. And I turned off the main road onto the dirt road. And as I slowed down, an owl landed on the hood of my car
Oh my.
in the middle of the afternoon. And
Wow.
I
Oh, yeah.
froze.
Yeah.
I froze and
Yeah.
and I'm like, oh crap. And I'm looking at the owl's looking at me. And
Right.
literally, it seemed like forever. Probably was only like a minute, but it seemed like forever. We were staring at each other. And then it flew away. I went straight to the landlord and said, I can't live here.
Wow.
I
Yeah.
mean, I
What?
knew that
Yeah.
this was not going to turn out good for me if I stayed there. I mean, the
Wow.
message was clear to me.
Yeah.
And within 2 days, I had moved all my stuff back out.
Wow.
Yeah,
Did you tell the landlord what had happened?
I did.
Yeah.
You
So
know,
a lot of people down there would believe it.
yeah, I mean, especially in that time period, signs where everybody believed in signs. I mean, people still are like, oh my God, that was a sign. I mean,
Yeah.
immediately she said, oh my God, that was a sign.
Yeah.
And it was like, yes. And I just started loading my vehicle
Wow.
up, borrowed my daddy's pickup truck, and
Oh,
moved out.
wow. Well, very good. Wow.
Yeah.
Ah. Chris, you got any stories at all? Or
Oh yeah, I have similar stories to that too. Um, there's a couple of times where I was driving too, and it's definitely looked out for me. I mean, at least on a half a dozen occasions where I'm driving at night. You
oh,
know, I'm tired, type of situation. You're going, and then all of a sudden, boom, owl right there, like clear as day. And then 5 seconds later, a deer is crossing the road.
oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
And if I wouldn't have saw that owl to like sort of perk me up, I probably would have plowed right into that deer.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
So that's happened numerous times. Yeah, yeah,
Huh.
it is pretty wild. Yeah, yeah. And
Well,
I did like a little. I was doing a plant communication thing one day. Just reaching out to ask a plant. Is there a plant out there? That wants to teach me something. And then that's how I don't know how you ended up with mullein in here because I did not mention that in the thing, but mullein was the plant that called to me, and then immediately, so I started just meditating with it, and now I'm looking at my notes here because I saw a lot on that. But then it was like it showed itself as a falcon-headed man at first, but then
oh, wow.
but then it brought me to, and then it was like, but I'm bringing you to see like the mullein, and I was just like, oh, okay. And it was a woman on a cliff, like an elderly woman, and she had, it's like a half woman, half owl face.
Wow.
Yeah,
Holy
and
cow.
yeah, it was pretty wild. And then I asked her if I could receive her medicine gift, and then she took a fire agate and placed it into my chest where my heart is. Yeah. Then it
Oh,
mentioned something about that stone mixed with that plant is like this whole energy portion of your body, like the heart and lungs. Yeah.
oh.
Wow.
Yeah. So yeah, it was pretty wild.
So is a fire agate, that's like those reddish brownish agates of the North Shore of Minnesota, or that kind of agate, or what?
That's what I saw. So that's
Wow.
how I
Okay.
see it. Yeah.
Yeah, I could see people calling that a fire agate. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, wow. Well, okay. On